Bhakti Mukti Pradatacha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Aneka Dhamma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidayine Atmagyana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shoshanam Bhava Sundoscha Jnapanam Sarasampada Guru Parodakam Samyak Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Na Guru Radikam Tattvam Na Guru Radikam Tapa Tattva-gyanat Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Manata Shri Jaganata Madguru Shri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Guru Radhiranadesya Guru Paramadevatam Guru Parataram Asti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyadravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Hari Om Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Hari Om Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha Om Sutapaya Namaha Om Manuraya Namaha Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha Om Sutapaya Namaha Om Manuraya Namaha Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Hari Om Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha Om Chinmayaya Namaha Om Kushalaya Namaha Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha Om Chinmayaya Namaha Om Kushalaya Namaha Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev Hari Om Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha. Om Devaya Namaha. Om Ganyaya Namaha. Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha. Om Devaya Namaha. Om Ganyaya Namaha. Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev. 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 Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha. Om Sutapaya Namaha. Om Manuaraya Namaha. Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha. Om Sutapaya Namaha. Om Manuaraya Namaha. Gurudev Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev. 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 Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha. Om Chinmayaya Namaha. Om Kushalaya Namaha. Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha. Om Chinmayaya Namaha. Om Kushalaya Namaha. Gurudev Sri Vishwanandaya Namaha. Om Chinmayaya Namaha. Om Kushalaya Namaha. Gurudev Om Navatarashishaya Namah. Om Vishamaya Namah. Om Devakarasamadyataya Namah. Om Sukshmatanave Namah. Om Chinmaya Namah. Om Gurumutaya Namah. Om Sundaraya Namah. Om Sivachanaya Namah. Om Sumukaya Namah. Om Charvasaya Namah. Om Keshavaya Namah. Om Padmambujaya Namah. Om Mandakamanaya Namah. Om Charmaradharane Namah. Om Ramaya Namah. Om Andrestapakaya Namah. Om Shri Bhavachakaya Namah. Om Gayatri Ashwane Namah. Om Arpanasvikarakaya Namah. Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namah. Om Namo Narayana Mantrapasakaya Namah. Om Swaramaya Namah. Om Madhurakantaya Namah. Om Krishna Sankirtanarupaya Namah, Om Sotapriyaya Namah, Om Mitavashine Namah, Om Bhakmine Namah, Om Chitrakalakshadaya Namah, Om Vratadharaya Namah, Om Sarave Namah, Om Jagatpataya Namah, Om Savalokaitai Namah, Om Bhaktapriyaya Namah, Om Sudaya Namah, Om Anukulaya Namah, Om Neyaya Namah, Om Sudashanaya Namah, Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namah, Om Premamurtaye Namah, Om Shveshanaya Namah, Om Pritivadanaya Namah, Om Swastidayakaya Namah, Om Tarakaya Namah, Om Anugrahaya Namah, Om Vardanaya Namah, Om Achitaya Namah, Om Attaya Namah, Om Siddhipradaya Namah, Om Janadanaya Namah, Om Manoharaya Namah, Om Akshaya Namah, Om Siddheshwaraya Namah, Om Bhasmabhushitaya Namah, Om Atmalingaya Namah, Om Lingachana Pratsakaya Namah, Om Siddhi Saranaya Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah, Om Omkarapasakaya Namah, Om Sukshmaya Namah, Om Vishwakaya Namah, Om Satvikaya Namah, Om Samadashine Namah, Om Dakshaya Namah, Om Achintyaya Namah, Om Nirankaraya Namah, Om Nirmohaya Namah, Om Avyagraya Namah, Om Chitakrodaya Namah, Om Vinayashilaya Namah, Om Savashaya Namah, Om Kushalaya Namah, Om Kshamaya Namah, Om Satchiramaya Namah, Om Nivikapaya Namah, Om Viraktaya Namah, Om Atindraya Namah, Om Satchisandhaya Namah, Om Pavitraya Namah, Om Madhura Svabhavaya Namah, Om Suranandaya Namah, Om Nandanaya Namah, Om Prasanatmane Namah, Om Bhaktahidaye Namah, Om Sakshaye Namah, Om Samatnaye Namah, Om Sarayogine Namah, Om Haraye Namah, Om Sutapaya Namah, Om Somyaya Namah, Om Guryaya Namah, Om Vimuktatmaya Namah, Om Kaviraya Namah, Om Guptaya Namah, Om Paramaya Namah, Om Srinivasaya Namah, Om Devaya Namah, Om Jyotidaraya Namah, Om Nanyaya Namah, Om Gurave Namah, Om Dharatikramaya Namah, Om Gahanaya Namah, Om Bhagavate Namah, Om Harishanamagadashakaya Namah, Om Kutasya Jagatakaya Namah, Om Abhiprayaya Namah, Om Sarvamatasamadhyaya Namah, Om Kshamaykatabhavalakaya Namah, Om Premavatara Shri Vishwananda Swamine Namah. Ato Deva Vantuno Yato Vishnu Vichakrame Pradivya Sapta Dhamati Vidam Vishnu Vichakrame Tridani Vade Badam Samoramasya Pagum Sure Trini Pada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopadara Ato Dhamani Dayana Vishnu Kamani Pasyata Yato Vritani Paspasit Indrashya Yuja Sakaha Tat Vishnu Paramam Paragun Sada Prashanti Surya Divi Vachakshuratatam Tat Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagravagum Sasamindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Param. Sadgurudevaya Dhimai Tano Vishwananda Prachodayat Om Premavataya Dhimai Sadgurudevaya Dhimai Tano Vishwananda Prachodayat Om Premavataya Dhimai Sadgurudevaya Dhimai Tano Vishwananda Prachodayat. Govinda. Om Vakratundamagaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvigham Kurumedeva Sarvakayeshu Sarvada Sarvakayeshu Sarvada. Om Bhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudan Gita Bhare Narayana Achyuta Trivikrama Chakrapare Nitya Sarvara Shri Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Tava Suprabhata Shri Rukmini Savavanam Sari Murari Radesha Gopisha Surupa Murari Vanya Shri Dvarakashaya Vaikuntapate Pumaneka Murte Gopala Devaraye Tava Suprabhata Meena Krute Kamara Rupa Varamurte Devi Kramaya Bhuvane Manurama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kaki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vaisri Jambavati Satya Sudanti Bhadra Shri Mitra Vindariva Prabhuputrikadhyaya Tishtanti Divya Bhavate Tava Sevanaram Gopi Mana Priyare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananta Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chandrapale Namani Divya Mayona Nishambadanti Yami Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Supramatam Ivadanti Alisham Uri Kratama Papam Shri Krishna Graitukam Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karana Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Chintamani Prakar Sarva Shukarpa Vriksha Laksha Vriteshu Suravira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govinda Mari Pusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mari Pusham Tamam Bhajami Venu Karanta Maravinda Ralaya Taksha Varavatam Samasitam Yuga Sundaramba Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Adora Chandrakala Sarvananaya Vashi Ratnangadam Pranaya Giri Kala Vilasam Shyamam Tribangala Litam Niyata Prakasham Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Aitani Yasya Sukhayanti Rittimanti Vashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiranchakanti Ananda Chinmaya Sarujvala Vikrasya Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Advaitam Achyutam Anadiyamanta-rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanamsha Vedeshu Durvapamarunaramagma Bhakto Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Pankastra Koti Satavatsara Samparbhamyo Vayo Atapi Manaso Muni Pungavanam Sopyasti Atma Parashinya Vichincha Tattve Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Ekyopi Sovichati Tunja Karanda Koti Yat Shakti Asti Chakaranda Chayaya Anta Andantarasta Paramano Chayanta Yasya Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mari Purusham Tamam Bhajami Yagava Bhavatadiyo Manujastadeva Samprapya Rupa Mahimāsanayana Pusha Shukdeya Meva Nigamakatidastu Bhakti Govinda Mari Vasudaji Vibhuti Peenam Taprama Nishkalamanatamashesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami Maya Yasya Chakaranda Sutani Sutte Te Gunya Tat Vishaya Veda Vidayamana Sarva Valambi Pada Sattva Vishuddha Sarvam Shanta Sachidananda Vigraha Anati Govinda Sarvakarnanana Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Jai Gurudev, good morning. Today's satsang is about Atmakriya Yoga, so I'm going to open with all of us chanting our introduction to Om chanting and Atmakriya, if you'll join me. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Namaha. Om Shri Mahavatar Babaji Namaha. Om Shri Mahavatar Babaji Namaha. Om Shri Mahavatar Babaji Namaha. So the verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam is from Canto 10, Chapter 9, Verse 10. Bhaktas enter even the planet of Krishna very easily, but the less intelligent yogis and jnanis, by their meditation, remain running after Krishna. So, we are bhaktas. So we are entering the planet of Krishna with our Atmakriya Yoga practice. We are Bhakti Marga. We're on the path of devotion. And as a result of that, we have been given the tools to attain this bhakti, this union with the Paramatma. So the Atmakriya Yoga practice was given to us by Babaji, Mahavatar Babaji, and our Guru Paramahamsa Vishwananda. And the Atmakriya Yoga practice instills the 9 forms of bhakti into our form, into our body. So unlike other practices that may stay on a visceral level, this actually goes into us and is a heart-opening practice. And I was very blessed to go with some others here to Nepal right before Navaratri. Swami Tulsidas and Haranmai put on an Atmakriya Yoga pilgrimage in Nepal where Mahavatar Babaji resides and where the Kriya practice was birthed. And I've had so many people asking me to talk about it. I thought, okay, this is the day. I better just get into it. And I have to thank the organizers because it was flawless. It was an absolutely spectacular 10 days. It was organized through a tour guide, Thakur, who lives in Kathmandu, and he's been a devotee of Guruji since 2012. And the very first hotel he took us to when we landed in Kathmandu was run and I think maybe owned by a devotee of Guruji's, another Atmakriya Yoga practitioner. So I had underestimated the reach of this practice and the reach of Guruji. The hotel was a 5-star hotel. I thought we'd be roughing it, maybe in huts in Nepal or something. And they were just beautiful hotels with beautiful gardens. And so our very first morning there, we all gathered in the garden and did our Kriya practice. And Guruji's always stressing how important it is to try and practice in a group if you can. And I hadn't been able to do it because in Canada, it's 8,000 kilometers across. And so the Kriya students are spread really thin. And we try and do Zoom sessions, but there's something about sitting in a garden with a bunch of like-minded souls doing this Atma, connecting the Atma with the Paramatma, just landed such an intense energy on the place. And we were all commenting that we couldn't believe how well we got along. There was just 16 of us. It was sort of a pilot project to see if it would work. And Govinda. I realized afterwards that by setting the intention the first thing in the morning every day, it took us beyond being tourists. We basically invited the divine into our little tour group, and then everything went perfectly. I've never been on a trip where everything went well, everyone was happy, nobody fought. It was
breathtaking. And we all kept commenting that something otherworldly was going on here, that we seemed to be operating in a dimension that was beyond. So we first stopped in Kathmandu. We visited some palaces, some Buddhist shrines. But then we got to jump on this little Buddha airplane and fly further into the Himalayas to Pokhara. And another spectacular hotel with a pathway winding through all the little rooms with gardens. So again, we had beautiful places to do our Kriya practice. But the first morning we were there, we actually, I've lost my track of time, but one morning we got up in the dark and got into Jeeps, and we drove to, what is this place called? It's called the Serengat View Tower. And this mountain plateau is across the valley from the Himalayas. And so we drove up there in the dark. And the interesting thing about Nepal is everything is up there. Like nothing's there. Everywhere we went, you had to go up there. So I just got very brazen about grabbing the closest arm to me and saying, drag me up these stairs, because the combination of the steep climb and the low, and we were at such a high altitude that the air was thinner. And I know that. I grew up in mountains in the Canadian Rockies, but this is something else. The Himalayas are a whole different game, and to me, they're conscious. It was like we were in the face of guardians. And we got to this plateau, and it had, sort of cement steps set up. And our group sat down and faced the Himalayas in the dark, and we started doing our practice. And the sun came up, and these spectacular white peaks were in front of us, and we all were just gasping. It was the most incredible sight. And one of our group, I don't want to get her name wrong, Vishwashari Dasi from China, she made a great comment. She said, "This is the Great Wall," not the man-made thing in China. And where I'm from in the Rockies, I was always bragging that, they're great mountains and they're tall, but the snow comes off them in the summertime. And the Himalayas, the snow never comes off. They're that high that they were just these startling white peaks the whole time. And actually something I'd skipped when we were still in, was it Kathmandu, when we went underground in the tunnels, or was it Pokhara? It was still Pokhara. So another place that Thakur took us was Devi Falls. And these falls, it's a very rushing, dynamic stream that disappears under the rock. So we saw that part of it. And then he took us around and down into this cave where a Swayambhu Lingam has formed. So it's a giant Shiva Lingam. And water's constantly dripping on it. So we were honored to have the Pujari do a quick ceremony for us. And I think he gave a garland to Swami Tulsidas. And then he pointed at this dark tunnel in the rock, which I wasn't so sure about, but I grabbed someone's arm and off we went, and we wound our way down through this dark rock tunnel, and we got to this platform, and there was this beautiful pond where the Devi Falls was coming out. So the river we saw disappear into the rock came out underground in this cave. And so again, we sat and we did our Kriya in the presence of this majestic, roaring river. And that pretty much set the tone for what was going to happen in Nepal. Everyone kept saying, something is happening. Like there's almost like a dimensional shift is happening, because everywhere we went was sacred. And we visited Buddhist shrines. We saw temples that had been abandoned and are now tourist attractions, but they still had a huge energy around them. And it was like bit by bit, our minds were just being emptied out. The combination of the Kriya practice and the incredibly beautiful Nepalese people. Like we all kept commenting, especially her and my coming from India, she kept going, they're so nice, this place is so clean, they're so nice. And actually Thakur our tour guide, you might have seen his post in the International Om Chanting. He did Om Chanting with the Nepalese army. And it's a beautiful video of over 100 people, all army personnel doing the Om Chanting. So he's just doing everything he can to awaken Bhakti Marga and Natmakriya Yoga in Nepal. And it says a lot for the region. He reminded us that Nepal is this tiny little country between two superpowers, China on one side and India on the other. And it's never been invaded. They've never gone to war. So basically, the Nepalese army is usually rescuing climbers from Everest, right, or from avalanches. They don't usually go to war. And so once we had sort of finished being down at that altitude, they loaded us into jeeps, and it was a 10-hour drive to Muktanat, which is the home of saligrams. This is where they're birthed. The Kali Gadak, you can probably pronounce it better. Kali Gandaki River is where saligrams just birth. And so it was a mission, especially for Swami Tulsidas with Elmira, and it's 3,000 saligrams. He had to get up there. And I was just along for the ride. I really didn't know what was going on, but it was 10 hours of like so. And at times the river or the road disappears because a waterfall has washed it out or a rock slide has taken it out. And so we were chanting all the way, like you'd get as close to the edge as possible with this steep drop to a valley, and we're all just Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha. So the practice was going on all the time, especially chanting in these really dangerous situations. But of course, we were protected, and I didn't need to worry. But as we got closer to Muktanat, you end up above the tree line, which means you're very high. And the hotel we went to was at 3,900 meters, so almost 4 kilometers high. And the last part of the journey, the Jeep was only in first gear because there isn't enough air for the engine to combust and do higher gears. So, and the driver showed me when he put it into second, the Jeep stalled. So the air is so thin up there. But as we're taught in Natmakriya Yoga, when there's less air, there's more prana, right? So down in cities, there's more air, less prana, life force. But we were very high up, so it was high prana. And you could feel it. It was just, the place was vibrating. And so the first day that we were there, the gang all charged off to look for saligrams on this windswept river. And I thought, I'm in a perfectly good 5-star hotel. I'm going to stay here and meditate. Because you can see why yogis go to these high altitudes to meditate, because your mind is just gone. And it was so easy for me. I just shut my eyes and I was gone. And it seemed like the group was gone for 10 minutes. And they were gone for, 12 or 14 hours. They were gone for a long time. But they came back with, like, bushels of saligrams. Everyone had rocks, just black rocks, like crazy. And I had never been drawn to them just because I'm a nomad. I'm a wandering sadhu. And it's heavy traveling just with Guruji's padakas and my altar. And I thought, adding rocks just doesn't make sense. But now I don't want to get your new names wrong, because I'm always calling you by your old names. So this lovely couple, Paragati Dasi and Subuja Das. Yeah, Subuja Das. The next day, they're like, oh, can't we give you a saligram? And because saligrams, you can't buy one for yourself. You can be given one, you can find one in the river, or you can steal them. So everyone was being very careful because Swami Tulsidas was prowling around looking for saligrams for Elmira. But they said, could we give you one? And I said, if it's really small and really light, because, I need weight restrictions. And so they handed me this beautiful lingam, and my background is Shiva. And as soon as they handed me the lingam, I just burst into tears, and then they started crying. And it was like I was holding an old friend. I'd never, ever experienced that sensation from, an inanimate object. And celigrams are a manifestation of Narayana. So it was a pretty profound experience to be at that altitude and see what all of this was about. And several people asked me, well, wasn't there a restriction for going to the river or a visa or an entry fee? And it's like, what we went through to get to that place, like very few people in the world will do that. So obviously they don't need to put a gate and a wall around it, because nobody wants to go all that way and then slide down this huge riverbank and in high winds and look for rocks. So it was pretty safe. But afterwards, everyone spread out the saligrams that they were willing to part with. So the people who were taking them back to temples and things, they kept them. But then they took pictures of this huge display of saligrams on the bed for Guruji. Govinda. And sent it to Guruji. And amazingly, the place he said to send them was Pandipur. So the new ashram being built in India is where they're going. So when we got back to Kathmandu, the last place Thakur took us was this ancient part of the city called Bhaktapur. So Bhakta, again, Pur. And you can't drive in there, it's walled off. So we walked on these old cobblestone streets, up to these old palaces. And Thakur said to us that he used to go there on his walks because he lived nearby. And he said he would cry and cry and cry, begging for a guru. Like just saying, I know I need a guru. Like, where is he? How am I going to find him? And in 2012, he went up there to cry at the steps, and Guruji was there. And he was traveling with a small group, maybe 5 people. And he ended up waving him over and talking to him. And Thakur finally blurted out, I've been crying and, begging for you. And Guruji said, I came here for you. So it's a big world, but it's a small world. And when you're on the bhakti path, it just becomes miraculous and vibrant, right? Like nothing is mundane anymore. Everything is just electric. And if you send those messages to God, to Narayana, he sends his little sticky notes out to the Satguru or whoever's supposed to come find you, and they come find you. So basically, Guruji says, Kriya breaks the pattern of the mind, so the awareness changes, our perception changes, and we shift our focus from outer to inner, and bhakti is experienced. Kriya is a prayer. We do everything with the awareness of the self, of the divine, and realize the unity with all. And that's how we felt in Nepal. We all felt like we were one with the people, we were one with the mountain. The separation was gone. And I think that has stayed with us. I don't think any of us are the same since we came back from that trip. So if you want to take Atmakriya Yoga, for those watching online, go to the Bhakti Marga site and just type in find a teacher, and it will show you a teacher in your country. So once again, and they are going to do this trip again. So watch for posts for the Atmakriya Yoga pilgrimage in Nepal, because it's the trip of a lifetime. It really is. And so, as the verse said, bhaktas enter even the planet of Krishna very easily. So enjoy the ride. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya. Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namah. 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 Giridhari Parabrahmane Namah. Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namah. Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namah. Vitala 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 Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namah. Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namah. Shri Vitala Giridhari Vitala 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 Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha 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 Vitala 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 Pandrinath Maharaj ki jai Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala me Yati Raja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala me Yati Raja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala me Yatindraya Karuna लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि प्रेम से बोलो लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय श्री बुद्धप्रदेश्वरनाथ भगवान की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय अवतार प्रिय बाबा जी की जय श्री रमणोजाचार्य की जय प्रेम से बोलो सद्गुरुदेव श्री स्वामी विश्वानंद महाप्रभु की जय ओम क्लीं कृष्णाय गोविंदाय गोपीजन वल्लभाय पराय परम पुरुषाय परकर्म मंत्र यंत्र तंत्र औषधस्त्र शस्त्राणि समराय समराय युगचोर मोचाय मोचाय ओम नमो भगवते सुदर्शनाय दीप्ति ज्वाला प्रत्यय सर्वजित शोभन हुंफात परस्मै परम ब्रह्मणे परम ज्योतिषे स्वाहा ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे श्याम वेंकटरमण गोविंद गोपिक जीवन स्मरणं गोविंद भक्तवत्सल गोविंद 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 कुंडलीकवरदे एकनाथ नमदे तुकाराम पंढरीनाथ महाराज की समस्त भक्त मंडल की जय